Yes, y'all, it is I, High Tech, and it is, for me, Marvel Tokon Beta Day number 2. And rather than just giving you the commentary of my gameplay here, I figured I would just kind of go over my closing thoughts on this beta. I know it's the second beta. I didn't get to participate in the first one, but still, I want to give my thoughts. And I know that if I were to give like the commentary on the gameplay plus my closing thoughts, it would be a really long video. So I figured I would just kind of give you the voiceover with me talking while the gameplay is going on in the background. So what you see in the back, it is me playing this game. It's my second day playing, and I was just kind of thinking about, overnight, from day one, and then, playing a few hours on day 2. And then, of course, just looking at all the Twitter discourse and all the bullshit and the crybabies on there. And then just kind of watching other people's videos and see what they think and just getting the general consensus on everything. Here's my thoughts and my opinion on Marvel Tokon Fighting Soruzu. So it's this beta is happening at the same time as the Avatar beta, I believe. And I think that one is you have to get like an invite only for that one, I believe so. I don't think it's like an open beta. I'm not even sure, really, to be honest, with the Avatar thing. I'm not a fan of Avatar. I've never really liked Avatar, but I'm not here to talk shit or dunk on that because I'm not gonna waste my breath like hating on things when I can just be using my same breath, promoting the things that I love, the things that I like, the things that interest me. And I like this game, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I do like this game. I think that this is a fun game, and it's definitely a different game. That is 100% for certain. And I know, at least for me, one of the big hang-ups, like the things that I'm just trying to like wrap my brain meat around, is the controls. And I don't think I'm the only person who feels this way about this game. And the controls are just so weird. They're so awkward and just not clunky, but I don't know. I feel like they could have just I have no idea how they could have mapped it differently. I'm not really sure. Again, I was playing on a pad. I didn't get to actually play on a stick the second time around. I figured I was just gonna play the game as much as I could and not worry about all that other stuff. But I did dive and look into some other things. But yeah, the controls are definitely really weird, and that definitely is going to take some time to get used to. And I understand when people say that, like, they're frustrating and they're wonky, and yeah, but I definitely felt like my brain was kind of acclimating to like what to do. It's not so much that I'm having a trouble as to like what I want to do. It's just like how to execute it, and like the execution is only half of the battle. The other part is knowing, like, G.I. Joe. Anyway, yeah, aside from the controls, I really like this game. I think it's fun, and I want to address this is going to segue into the big debate, the back and forth, the big issue that everyone has on the internet right now is the game is sauceless and there's no training mode. And I am gonna die on this hill when I say that you guys do not need a flippin' training mode in a flippin' beta, dude. It's a fucking beta. Just play the game and just learn that way, and everyone's gonna be all the whiners are gonna come out, oh, but I don't want to I can't enjoy the game in a competitive environment when everybody is sweating online and this, that, and toxic online fighting game culture is so bad and it's unapproachable. No. You can say that about any competitive genre. Like, as long as the fucking word competitive is in there, or versus or something like that, it's gonna be sweaty at some point, right? Is it like that all the time? No. But I can still, as an example, I can still jump on Call of Duty and just play some online matches and not have to worry about fighting fucking Shroud every single day. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he plays Call of Duty, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? I can still get me some kills. I can get me a couple kill streaks and enjoy myself and then hop off. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of people like that who enjoy fighting games. I have no idea why fighting games have this this reputation of being this, like, I mean, they are like niche. Like, don't get me wrong, they're niche, but it's this reputation of like everybody's a god and everybody's a Daigo and a Tokido and a Justin Wong. No. That's only like 2%, if that, of people that play fighting games. The rest just think we are like that when we play fighting games. All right, so like the whole training mode thing is like, oh, it's bad because no training mode. I can't practice and I can't discover. It's like, dog, have you ever played fighting games before pretty much 2009? Did you ever play any fighting games? None of them shits had training modes. Some of them did, but they were not nearly as robust or anything like that, and it was just a way to play against somebody who's not going to fight back. And the way that people practiced back then is not the way that people practice now. You know what I mean? A lot of people practice just by playing the arcade mode or playing against, friends, or just, just kind of going in and mashing buttons and just doing it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best, that's the greatest way to learn. Does training mode help? Yes. Is it like beneficial to like really kind of just narrow down what you're trying to do and maximize your efforts and your results? Of course. You know what I mean? You get a lot. The training mode offers a lot of info and a lot of, you can take your time and just kind of do things your way and set them up the way you need to. But nothing is going to replicate that experience of, like going against live competition, like someone else. Like, you know what I mean? You're playing against any game. You're playing against somebody else's brain. You're not really playing against the game. Arcade mode, you're playing against the game, but it gets your brain working to start thinking in a way that will take you to the spot where you need to go against somebody else's brain, right? And what better way to get that knowledge and that experience than to just jump online or, into versus or whatever, and then just start playing, and then you just figure out that way. So to all these people that are saying they need the training mode for a beta, be for real. That's all I gotta say about that. Okay. As far as the sauce goes, man, I had a lot of fun playing this game. I feel like there's some creativity to this game. There really is some creativity. Now, is it gonna be as like in depth as like Marvel 3 or DBFZ? Probably not. If you play the game, it's slower than those games for sure. The game is slower, and when I played again for the second time, I realized that the first day it felt really fast, which I think anything feels fast the first time you do it. You're just like, whoa, because just a lot of information overload and things are happening and you don't know how or why. But once you kind of been doing it for a little bit, then you realize it's not so bad. It's like it's literally quite like riding a bike. Like the first time, you're like, oh shit, oh my balance, and oh I gotta pedal, and oh I gotta turn now, and oh there's a lot, and I gotta think about so much at once. But once you kind of figure out that, like, hey, if I just keep pedaling and I just keep pedaling and I keep pedaling, and then once I got that down, then I can start thinking about like balance, and then I got the balance part down. Now I can think about the turns, and you know, it's just one step at a time, and things get slower and things get smoother. You know, slow equals smooth and smooth equals fast. You know what I'm saying? So this game is definitely slower than those other games, but it is creative. I really think there is some sauce in here. I played against this Spider-Man player, and dude, he really was just like rocking my shit. Like, he was just coming for my headpiece, man. And it was fun. I learned a lot just off of playing against that guy, and the dude had some super sick combos, man. I was so impressed, and I'm just like, yo, it was really like inspiring for me, because, well, I mean, I like this shit, and you know, getting my ass beat is part of the fun, right? But it was really inspiring. I'm like, dang, this dude is really out here just swagging. He's doing it. And you know, I just took some cues, and I kind of did a few cool little saucy things myself. Still didn't know what I was doing 100% of the time, but maybe 50% of the time I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't have all the controls and stuff. But I kind of started getting it down and learning a couple of routes and getting some combos, and it's really fun. I will say the tag system is really clunky. It's slow. It's really weird and awkward, especially since there's like a pause whenever you do the tagging, and that's another issue that people have, is like there's a lot of pauses and a lot of freeze frames in the game, which I get, like that could be a little disjointing. It's thrown me off for sure a couple of times, but I mean, ain't no sense in crying about it. Just get with it, you know what I mean? It's just sink or swim. So it's just one of those things that, you know, it's not like a deal breaker for me. That's just how the game is, and you know what I mean. You gotta take it for what it is and accept it for what it is. Otherwise, you're bound to drizzown. I know another thing that people are talking about are like the wall clashes or the wall splats, and then like the stage transitions. Those do happen kind of frequently, but for me, I kind of like it, at least for now. I don't mind it too much. The transition's not terribly long. And I think it gives a good chance to kind of reset things and get things back to neutral. So I think there's like a balance aspect that comes into effect with the stage transitions. Also, while we're still on the topic of the game mechanics, I did look at the command list today. I decided today was going to be the day. I looked at the command list, and as you guys can see here on the screen, the characters all have universal inputs, so it's a lot like DBFZ, right? It's just like you do have actually half circle motions, quarter circle motions, you have DP motions, and the cool thing is that all the moves are, or the inputs rather, the inputs are the same for every character. And you know, if you were looking at the screen, you can see that I kind of cycle through all the characters and look at all their moves, and they're the same inputs, the same for their supers, and then the same for their ultimates. It's all the same inputs, so you can use traditional controls. I really wasn't using the traditional inputs. I don't know why. I just feel like I was starting to get accustomed to using the R2, so I don't know, it was just kind of starting to, like I said, it was starting to sink a little bit for me today in that regard. Also, each character has a unique trait or ability or something like that. It's kind of like in how it was in Killer Instinct, like how every character had some unique little trait or passive skill that, like, you know, only that character can do. And I didn't know that. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. So, you know, with Cap, you can do the you can do the shield, you can guard with the shield, and then you can cancel into special moves out of it after guarding. Ghost Rider has like a meter, like it's like his vengeance meter, that it's actually like you do certain moves and the meter increases and then he does more damage, but if you fill up the meter, then like he does less damage. So there's moves that like increase the meter, and then there's moves that decrease the meter. And you kind of have to know which moves you're doing to keep your meter balanced so that you keep his damage as high as you can without pretty much busting or breaking the meter. That was pretty freaking cool, like, to discover that the characters have different, you know, traits like I said, like a Killer Instinct or like an Injustice. Let's talk about combos real quick. So Just to preface, I don't have a lot of experience with Arc Sys games. The one I have played a lot and the most obviously is going to be Dragon Ball. I did play a bit of Strive, and I've played some older Guilty Gears back in the day, like on my PSP, but I never like dove into them or understood the mechanics or like how like an Arc Sys game is supposed to feel. So this game is definitely, aside from Dragon Ball, like, you know, the X amount of hours I put into this beta, this is the second most played Arc Sys game that, you know, I've played. So when we're talking about combos, I actually like the combo system. It feels pretty open and it feels pretty lax, and I think it's pretty creative. The assist calling is really weird. With the assist, I know there's like different positions for all the characters and stuff like that. Your main character is going to be like, it's your leader. The second person is the shooter. The third person is the vertical, and then the last person is assault. And so that does, I know it does affect that. The positioning of the characters does affect their assist. So shooter, I want to say, does like a projectile. Vertical is like an anti-air move, and then assault is, I don't know what assault was, because I mostly used assault with like Ghost Rider, and he did the flame carpet move. So I'm not really too sure what the assault might be. That might be kind of like a variety type or something like the other. I don't think it's Rushdown like exclusively, but it's something like that. So the assist calling is pretty weird. It's a little wonky for me. And of course, all the assists are tied to one button. That's also how you tag. And like I said, the tagging is really weird, but the fact that you can call the assist and then you have like a window that you can tag into them, like to extend your combo or like continue pressure, I think that's really, really cool. I know there's a lot of like hidden potential behind that, and that's just something that you can only explore once the game comes out in training mode. So that's one of those things that, you know, training mode will definitely shine a light on that. But as far as the combos go, you can do some really cool combos. You can do some lengthy combos, not like Dragon Ball Fighters length combos or, you know, Marvel 3 length combos. I feel like the gravity scaling and that thing and that sort of thing is kind of somewhere in the middle, whereas like you can do like a decent length combo and it's not going to be like you're watching a fucking movie, like a, you know, Metal Gear Solid 4 cinematic. But it's still like lengthy enough to be satisfying, where it's like, yeah, I got some, you know, I got some shit off, and, you know, it felt cool, and it was nice. So I like the length of the combos. I feel like the ability to combo into things is, like I said, is pretty it's pretty open, it's pretty lax. I feel like everything converts into virtually everything. There is like a combo flip out state, like I think it's like it shows like it looks like the screen cracks. It's like it turns red, or it's like, it looks like glasses break or something like that. And then they do like a flip out animation into like a hard knockdown, and then, you know, that's the end of the combo. But by the time I reached that state, I was like, oh yeah, I had a pretty decent length combo, so I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, and it had a good feel to it, and I feel like you can do a lot of cool stuff, you know, once you are able to practice. Going back to the assists, I do know that even though one character would be like on a particular spot or position, so, you know, let's just say Iron Man, for instance. I had Iron Man, I was playing Spider-Man mostly on point for day 2 at least, and I had Iron Man on the shooter position. So I know at full screen he would do Unibeam, but I feel like when I was at a different distance, maybe like mid or close, he did his charge like punch move. And I don't know if that's something I did like with an input, or if that changes depending on the distance. I'm not sure. I didn't get too much time to really explore that or figure that out, but I feel like that is a mechanic that is present in the game. I mostly spent day 1 playing with Captain America because like I said, I like the shield stuff. The shield stuff is cool. But then I decided to play Spider-Man because I do like Spider-Man. And then after running to that Spider-Man player, I really, really enjoyed, like, I was just excited to play this character because he did some really, really cool shit. and I was able to do some of that cool stuff sometimes. Not what I wanted, but I was trying for sure. And I did play Iron Man for a little bit. He felt a little strange, but Iron Man was kind of cool. He wasn't too bad. I didn't really get to mess with too many other characters. I played Ghost Rider like for a second. I played Star-Lord for a second. He felt kind of weird. I didn't get to mess with Storm or Doom. I didn't even touch Miss Marvel, actually, now that I think about it. But, you know, I try to like just explore those characters and see what was possible. And I like what I see so far. It feels pretty cool, and I'm excited to play these characters and dive into it once the game actually comes out. And then upon further, you know, review and examination, I know it's labeled as a tag team fighter, which it is, you know, because you're picking more than one character to be on your team, and you can switch and play at any of those characters at you know, any point in time, given that you have all of them. But in essence, it is kind of like a 1v1 game with almost like a cameo type situation, like from Mortal Kombat 1. Actually, it's a little more like Tekken Tag now that I think about it, because each kind of because, you know, with Tekken Tag, each character had their own life bar, and this one is just one shared life bar, and you're just switching to each character, and then, you know, each character has the same amount of life. But, you know, like I said, you can choose to literally just play as Captain America for the entirety of the game, and you don't even have to switch into any other character. So in that aspect, it is kind of like a 1v1 fighter, which in my brain I see it more as that, you know what I mean, versus it's not imperative that you play your other characters. However, that's when matchups come into play, and obviously that's going to be an entire game within itself, you know, it's just switching to this character to beat that matchup, but then them countering by switching into this character. So, you know, there's definitely like that layer added to it. But yeah, I feel like it's sort of like a 1v1 sort like that. But I mean, with all that said, I think this game is cool. I like this game. I'm going to get this game. I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to enjoy this game. And I don't really give a shit what anybody else, you know, has to say. If they want to complain about it and compare it to Avatar and say this, it's got no juice, it's that, it's fucking bland, whatever, I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm here to just promote the things that I love, and, you know, I'm here to spread that joy to the other people that also, you know, like and love these things, because that is the culture, the true culture of the FGC, you know, the fighting game community. And, you know, the people that claim they're about the FGC and this is, you know, a detriment and blah blah blah, shit's changing, about, nah, that's not the culture, yo. The culture will always be the people that are, you know, joyous, and they're grateful that we have these games to play and to enjoy and to keep around, you know, for pretty much as long as someone wants to play them, you know what I mean? That is the culture. And I'm excited for this game. I'm ready for it. We just need some, like I said, we just need some more characters, man, because it's been a long time, 6 months, and then giving us nothing else. And yeah, I think it's time for some reveals. But other than that, I really enjoyed this beta. I'm really happy that I got a chance to play it, and I'm excited for it. Let me know if you're excited for it. Tell me which characters you want to see. Tell me the things you like about this beta. Tell me whatever. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you made it this far, please leave a like, subscribe if you wish. I do fighting games. I do retro games. I sometimes go live. I play old school stuff like Paper Mario, but mostly I'm about, you know, just boxing, you know, throwing some hands and shit like that. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are excited for this game like I am. And that's all I got to say about that. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a good day. You mother...